Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. Community policing is still alive and well in the 24th District. Even if the CAPS money, which is federal money, peters out, there will be regular monthly community policing meetings, caps24.org. Thank you so much, Commander James Roussel. And more judicial analysis. We ran out of time last time with one of our two judicial experts, Michael Strom. So we'd like to welcome back, guess who? Michael Strom. How you doing?
Good, Avi. Thanks for having me.
First of all, thank you. And let's get straight down to the facts. What would you like to tell us?
Well, I think we talked last time about the fact that in the retention election in November, it was a pretty strong slate. They were really very highly rated. I think we had about 90% of the 58 candidates received top ratings from at least 10 of the 11 bar associations that do that. So you'd like to see some pretty strong scores given that. And I was kind of appalled by the only coverage that you get on these things other than Jack LaHane's blog, which of course is fabulous. What's it called again?
For What It's Worth.
Yeah, that's worth looking at. But other than that, the Chicago Tribune's really the only game in town for this sort of thing. So I pulled every one of these articles when they covered the subject of judicial retention, because the first one I was a little peeved, the second one more so, and by the end I thought this is ridiculous. The bottom line is, despite the fact that there were some really tremendously experienced and qualified judges, I'm not saying
pointed out by Jewish Chicago.
Right, not saying anything's 100%, and I don't get to comment on individuals because as president of the Decalogue Society, our organization does ratings. I'm not allowed to be involved in those either.
But you actually did get some good seats at the recent swearing-in ceremonies. Swearing in.
I did. That was a surprise to me. I didn't know that I was going to be on the stage for that one. So
cool.
It's a good thing that I dressed nicely. In any event, if you look at the three articles, and they're pretty substantial, that the Chicago Tribune did, I'll hold up a couple just so for a visual aid. This is one of them. That's practically a whole page. A lot of stuff that the Tribune had to say, a lot of stuff they had to say in these two as well. And you know what they didn't say even once?
What?
There's some good judges. You got to make sure to retain some of these guys. Not once. Well, as
they
close
endorsed Obama. What the hell you want from these guys?
We're talking judicial. We're talking judicial.
Right.
Now, they have some real subtle headlines like "Fire these 6 judges," and they are firing on them left, right, and center.
I feel that way about Bruce Stoll, by the way.
Okay, well, and that's him talking. Whatever. But there's 58 judges on this retention ballot.
Yeah.
They're talking about 6 that they're really angry about. Somewhere along the line, you might want to mention, hey, there's some good ones too. You might want, vote for them.
As you pointed out, some very highly rated judges.
Extraordinary. And this is as close as they get to saying some good guys on this ballot. The Tribune recommends, yes, vote for all other judges seeking retention except for these 5. Why do they recommend yes? We don't know. They don't say. Other than saying, we're so angry at these guys. And, that Democratic Party endorsing all the retention, it's this, it's that, it's 10 other things. It's just really obscene what they do. But, vote for the ones that we haven't, gotten all hot and bothered about. They said that same word formula in 2 other articles. And no, I take it back. In one other article.
Yeah.
In this article that I'm holding up, and I'm sure your entire technical crew will get that in focus because they are top notch.
Sonny's the best. No question.
It don't get better than Sonny.
Yeah.
Punch these numbers to remove from the bench 6 Circuit Court judges deemed incapable, intolerable, unqualified, or all of the above. Wow, all 3. They just opened up the whole bag of adjectives and threw them all out on the table. How about the guys they want you to vote for? You got to go down to, if you get all the way through all of this crabbing and whining to the part where they're actually telling you what to do when you vote, take this to vote with you because it's the way to go. Retention. Vote yes for all judges except these 6. All right, come on. You know, I mean, I understand getting unhappy with some judges who were not approved by all the bar associations, and some of the ones that they were crabby about, I think the Chicago Bar may have been the only of the 11 bar associations that was unhappy with some of these candidates. But, okay, the bottom line is, heaven forbid that you forget to clip and take your list with you. You get to the voting place and you're in there and you think, oh, there were some people who were, what were they? Were not only incapable and intolerable, they're also unqualified. I got to get these guys out of here, but I don't remember what they are. I don't have my list. So I better just vote against all of them to make sure that I get these nudniks out of there. And unless you make some sort of comment in a responsible editorial fashion that there are some good candidates, and it's important to keep the good ones, in fact, more important than tossing 3 to 6 that aren't so good. There are a number of presiding judges who are on this list. There are people who have high volume, important calls in the Circuit Court of Cook County. I don't want to be there the day after 60 judges get tossed because nobody can remember what the gang of 6 was that the Tribune was unhappy with. This is just irresponsible reporting, and I think it's ridiculous. Say what you want about the bad guys, but come on. So now I've vented, and I feel better.
Well, that's good. As a matter of fact, I could list you a gang of 6 on the Tribune, maybe more than 6, that I'd like to see fired, but that's another story.
Well, that's all the Tribune had, and that was actually high as far as publications went. There were some other.
They had one guy. If they had 6, they had somebody who was not on the Chicago Bar Association list, because the Chicago Bar Association only had 5. Yeah,
they didn't. Well, no, that's not true. Actually, the Chicago Bar Association list had 7 that they wanted out, if you're counting Egan.
Well, actually, I wasn't counting Egan.
Yeah, and they weren't either, apparently, because Egan's not on their list. But it's not the same list.
And the reason we don't count Egan is because Egan had already resigned and didn't show up for the Bar Association meetings, which is an automatic not qualified, but he'd already resigned and retired.
And aside from that, he was a terrific judge before he retired.
Very highly rated, very highly rated.
So that's basically my spiel on the coverage of the retention election. If you want to get hot and bothered, that's fine. But, I mean, throw a bone to people who have worked hard for, in some cases, 20, 30 years to keep our courts running.
And that's not to mention the fact that one of the things that I've learned in interviewing a lot of these people is a lot of these people are really high-quality individuals, even the losers in some of these elections. And it's not like looking at your garden variety politician whose very words will make my tomatoes grow to new heights. These really are some really not just decent, but really caring, intelligent, good individuals. Not 100% of them, but most of them.
I will say this, and I bet if Jack Lehane were on this show, he'd agree with me, that in the time that Jack and I have been practicing, the overall caliber of judicial talent has been significantly raised.
No, there's no question. And to date myself, I remember when I covered criminal court building in 2016 Cal for the first time, and actually where I was the token white guy for the Daily Defender for a short period of time, I was taken aside by one of the bailiffs who handled the press, who basically informed me that you can count the number of honest judges in this building on the hand of 3-finger Mordecai Brown. So things have definitely improved since then, there's no question about it.
Although, to be fair, Mordecai had more than 3 fingers. It's just one of them was so badly mangled it didn't count.
He happens to be right, and that also led to him winning over 200 games in the big leagues and having ERAs under 2 in certain years.
And what a spin it put on that breaking ball. Holy smokes.
Hey, I still remember seeing Jack Brickhouse talk about it. No, that was a little before the day. In any event, I want to thank you very much, Michael Strom, for being here and for sharing your judicial retention knowledge with us, among other things. And
quick plug?
People, yes, absolutely.
Because it's about Jerry Bender, and I know you like that.
Please.
We're having an event, the Decalogue Society, honoring the memory of our beloved past president and great community leader, Gerald Bender, December 16 at the Holocaust Museum in Skokie. On the off chance that this at least hits the web before that.
It will hit the web before that, and at this point I've got to cut you off. Thank you so much, Michael Strom, and we'll have you back before the next election. Bye-bye.